We've got an old love, one we never will get tired of, one that fits us like an old glove, one to warm the winter days. We don't have to say I love you quite as often as we used to. Old love just goes without saying, but we still say it anyway. And that's how my concert career started. My musical partner and spouse, Leandra, wrote that song with me, and it set us on the road for 25 years of concerts all over the United States. And it was an amazing, amazing journey. While we were building up our audience, that was the song that people wanted to hear. And so then they wanted to hear more of it, more like that. And so we became known for our love songs, our songs about family. And then a number of years back, when the political climate was charged in this country, I got cranky. And so I started writing songs about other things: war, immigration, homophobia, abortion, fundamentalism of any religion, poverty, all the stuff that you want to sing along to. Or sometimes you can make up nice dances. But our audience has come to expect a certain thing, and I knew putting these songs out was going to be a difficult proposition. And yet I felt compelled to do it. And I was angry, so I was also cranky, so there we go, I'm going to do this. But the more I thought about it, and the closer I should say I got to recording them, the more scared I got. And I went into, my daughter was 8 years old at the time. She was in bed in her PJs on the top bunk getting ready for bed, and I went in to talk with her because she's my mother confessor. And I said to her, "Punkin', I'm putting out a solo CD and I'm scared." And she said, "Why are you scared?" And I told her about all the topics and how these songs were going to make some people uncomfortable, and some people weren't going to like them, and some people were going to probably hate them. And I also said, it's so important to me in my life that I be liked by everybody. And I know if I put this CD out, some people are not going to like me. She laid there for a bit in her top bunk, and then she said, "Dad, even if you don't put out the CD, some people still won't like you." Thanks a lot. That was like, great. That is exactly what I wanted to know from my 8-year-old daughter. Here I am under the illusion that everybody likes me, and now I find out not everybody likes me. But it gave me the green light. Might as well go for it. And so I did. But before putting the songs out, I wanted to test them out on a group of people because nobody had ever heard them before. So I was doing an artist in residency at a class at college called Changing the World. And this group of people, they were kids from the far left to the far right in the room. And I told them that I wanted to have them try two things. One, I wanted them to leave their political and religious opinions at the door as much as possible and enter the songs from their experience. So what emotion did the song bring up? What story, what memory? And the second thing was to have silence after the songs. A couple of minutes, which is going to seem like an eternity to most people. But I think, at least in my own life, my tendency when I hear something is to have a knee-jerk reaction and bam, say the first thing that comes to my mind, and it's not always the thing that is really deep within me. And sitting in silence allows us that space to really be able to sift through those things so that hopefully when all that dirt goes away, there's a gold nugget left, and then you can really say what was brought up in you. So I said, let's give this a try. And I'd never done it before, and this is the song that I played. And I'm going to ask you after this song to take 10 to 15 seconds of silence. Not 2 minutes, because I know that this is not a TED silence, this is a TED talk. So, but 10 to 15 seconds, just enough for you to be able to experience sitting with it a bit. And then after that, I want to share with you how one kid in this class changed this whole project and changed the course of my life. She was glad the day John Lennon died. She kept her feelings hid inside, but she cried when the mourners cried, 'cause he died not knowing Christ. She said he was a dangerous man. He thought he could play with God's own plan, so God struck him down with his right hand for his unrepentant pride. She is a Christian, she will follow Christ, and Jesus died for all our sins. She is really nice. She loves her children and teaches them their prayers, and at the end of every day she climbs up her stairs and sleeps sound in her bed up there. Matthew Shepard died that way, strung up and tied like a bale of hay. She said it wouldn't have happened if he weren't gay. I'm not saying it's right, it did. But if he would just have accepted Christ, you know Jesus can heal that kind of life. I'm sorry for the way he died, but just look at the way he lived. She is a Christian, she will follow Christ, and Jesus died for all our sins. She is really nice. She loves her children and teaches them their prayers, and at the end of every day she climbs up her stairs and sleeps sound in her bed up there. Imagine, imagine, imagine that. And on the day we went to war, she said, do you know what we're fighting for? The chance for unsaved babies to know the Lord, so they won't have to go to hell. The only way to set them free is Jesus and democracy. We've been called to help them see what they can't see for themselves. She is a Christian, she will follow Christ, and Jesus died for all our sins. She is really nice. She loves her children and teaches them their prayers. And at the end of every day, she climbs up her stairs and sleeps sound in her bed up there. At the end of every day, she climbs up her stairs and sleeps sound in her bed up there. Imagine, imagine, imagine that. Imagine, imagine, imagine that. So I finished the song, and we had our lengthy silence, and then I asked what it brought up in them. And one hand went up, and it was the one hand that I had hoped would not go up. It was the person that I had identified in the room on this retreat as the one who was most different from me. So I did what any good facilitator would do. I ignored him. I waited for some other hand to go up, and it didn't. So, Joe, what did it bring up in you? I expected to get both barrels. He looked at me and he said, "That's me. I have all those feelings, and I don't know what to do with them." He completely disarmed me because he disarmed himself. And in that moment, everything changed. I looked at him and I said, "Joe, that's me too. It was me 30 years ago in this song. And it's me today, because I've just traded my biases to prejudge you." I have a stone in my hand. Imagine that you all have stones in your hand. Go ahead and feel it. You can feel the weight of it. I can, with this stone, kill, or I can build. No one's making me do either one. No one can make me do either one. I get to choose. But how far can my imagination take me? Can it take me so far as to say, "That's me," and put down the stone? I went back after that class and I went through all of my songs that I was going to put on this CD. And I took out every mocking reference, every skewer, every word I meant to hurt, including this song that I just sang for you. And by the way, I used to sing this song very angrily. When Joe first heard it, I was singing it angrily, like, and here was one of the lines in the chorus that I had. She says she's a Christian. And I went back and I changed it to, she is a Christian. And a little further down in the chorus, there's a line that I had. She homeschools her children and teaches them their prayers. And it became, she loves her children because she does. It began to open up in me the possibility of having dialogue with someone who I perceive as very different than myself. I do not have a PowerPoint, but I do have a piece of paper. And there is a poem on this piece of paper. Or there's a portion of it. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote a poem, 2 lines of which have haunted me for years and are so disturbing to me. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. Wendell Berry said in an interview a few years ago, the serious question is whether you're going to live by piracy, by taking what you need from other people. The only antidote to that is imagination. You have to be able to imagine lives that are not yours. You have to have at least enough imagination to understand that if you want the benefits of compassion, you must be compassionate. If you want forgiveness, you must be forgiving. It's a difficult business, being human. But one kid taught me, if I could open up my imagination, maybe I couldn't change the world. But maybe I could change myself. Imagine, imagine, imagine that. Imagine, imagine.